Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. In this video I'm going to show you my newest Nellie Snellen product. It's called Lines and Dots and they're a form of stencils. They come in a bunch of different varieties. If you go to my blog you will see the different ones I will have for sale and their prices. And what I want to do is show you this technique that Nellie has devised that's a lot of fun. So what you will need is your Tim Holtz Distress inks. Get whatever colors. I'm going to use Vintage Photo, Shabby Shutters, and Broken China for this one. And then with your Stencils comes these blending foams. Use these blending foams and cut them up into little squares. Or your sponge daubers if you're lucky enough to have some sponge daubers. I'm going to try to get the sponge daubers for sale as I'm literally setting up an account now, and hopefully I can get these for you at a good price because whatever reason sponge daubers are expensive. The good news is both of these ways work well. And throw these in a cup of soapy water, let them sit for a while, rinse them, keep rinsing them till the water runs clear, let them dry, and you can reuse them. Even though like this one's dyed yellow, it'll go fine and won't spread onto the inks and they're reusable. Let's see. The paper I use for this technique is simply, I get it from Walmart. It's called Georgia Pacific. It's a 110 bond paper. Works well. Now with this technique, I'm just going to have you watch it and we'll get through it and then you will see the end result. So the first thing I'm going to take is my dauber, and Nellie says to work in circles, so I kind of start it that way to get good ink coverage. And we're working on top of the stencil, not traditionally how we usually fill in stencils underneath. This is a different technique that Nellie devised and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of a nice break for us who follow the Dutch paper crafts so closely because everything we do there is so detailed and takes a lot of time to make, and this is a quick, fun, easy technique. I really enjoy it. Then as you can see, I kind of stipple after I do the circles, and then I stipple because when we get that on the card, that nice little dot effect is attractive. And then I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to kind of do it as though it's sky in the background. And I don't quite go to the edge of my brown there because I've noticed in all of Snellie's dyes she leaves a halo around it, and after doing this I do find that that is kind of a nice effect. As far as can you use other inks, well, I used a cat's eye. I used some other, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I used a few I had, and they dry too quickly and it doesn't come off on the paper. The dye I started with in the beginning, for example, if it were this dye and I were making the bird would have been all dried and didn't come off and it didn't work as well. And this is the brand Nellie recommends, so I'm sure she did a lot of product testing. I myself did some. If you find any inks that work really well, please make a comment on my blog for others and we'll try it too and see how it works, because there are so many inks out there. So let me get that. I won't make this too perfect because this is just kind of more to show you the technique. Hopefully when I show you the ones I have for sale, I'll have some nice samples ready. So you're going to get your Cuttle Bug, get your A plate. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can kind of, there. A plate embossing pad. This is the Quick Cuts embossing mat. You can use whatever one you have or use. Again, get a piece of your Georgia Pacific cheapo cardstock and be careful, try not to touch the edges. That's the part we're not using, if you can believe it, and that comes out fairly nice, but we're not going to use that part. We can later if we want, but the technique is you put the cardstock down and put the die on the cardstock. Try not to move it. Then put the B template on top. Now the reason I put the die under here is if we put the die between the two B plates, this plate warps and it warps your die. And once your die is warped, it's really hard to get it back unwarped. It's possible, I've done it, but it's hard. So, but this way I find they don't warp and it works just as effectively. Now watch what happens when we put this through. This is the really neat part here. I'm going to run it through our machine. Okay. And then take it off. And here's, you can see it's raised through, and then the colors come off like that. Isn't that a really fun technique? It was so easy. Look how quick we did that. And you can kind of see what a wonderful effect that is. And the white is raised. It's kind of like a resist, and it's just really nice and very pleasing. I'll see if we can do one more real quickly here before time runs out. If it runs out, just I apologize. So we'll do this one real quick. And let's see. We won't do the edges. We'll just do around it to give you an idea. So flames are kind of a yellow, and we'll work with yellow here. So go around that flame in yellow, and then we'll make our candle kind of red. This is one of the Christmas, and she has more Christmas dies coming out. I will have, like I said, these for sale for you, and you can see the different designs on my blog spot. It'll be with this video. I'll have another video of the beautiful stencils and which one, and the prices and what you can get. So just kind of really get that there. And then we'll use the green. You can tell I'm partial to the daubers. And just kind of get there. And again, I'm not keeping the bottom. It's going all over the place for time's sake. I'm just trying to get one more sample out here to show you. And the red. My red pad's a little dry here, so let me just get a little more red. And then, whoops, good catch, Darlene. Again, the yellow. Now let's see how this comes out. This was really quick. Okay, so again, the A plate, the embossing pad, our stencil with the cardstock on the, I'm going to use this one, the cards, let's see, I really have to think about this, so put the stencil there. Now the paper pushes up and through. Then our B plate, and then our shim, which is 4 pieces of cardstock, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that on top. The other B plate, and we run it through our machine. Okay. And voila, the resist comes through. That was really quick, but it's a wonderful technique and a lot of fun. And when you make these into cards, they'll be beautiful. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, please visit my blog to see the items I have for sale. And thanks for watching. Have any questions? Please just email me. Thank you. Bye-bye.